Hello and welcome. My name is Linda Shreve. I am one of the podcasters on Two Crones and a Microphone. And as part of our summer series, we're reprising our favorite podcasts. When our lovely producer Libby asked, "Oh, what is your favorite podcast?" Immediately I knew which one I would pick, and it's Glimmering. Glimmering, Glimmering. What does that mean? Well, to find out a great deal more, you're going to listen next to podcast number 27, which talks about it. But really, glimmering is a way to find micro moments in your life that are going to help you take that deep breath, to ground, to be able to find the moments of joy and resilience that we all seek. It can help us feel joy, happiness, peace, gratitude, and it's fun. All you need to do is look up from wherever you are and engage with your five senses. Let's say, for example, you use your sense of sight. You look outside, you see a tree, all of a sudden you begin to notice the sunlight streaming through the leaves of the tree, and you think, oh, how wonderful. That, my friends, is a glimmer. Or maybe the hearing of bird song or other nature songs will be a way to express a glimmer. Right now, I'm looking right outside my window and I see a baby groundhog crawling along, and to me it makes me chuckle, and so that's a glimmer for me. And let's not forget the sense of touch, tactile aid, touching something soft or finding a feather or petting fur, touching soft blankets. All those things can be that sort of, it helps invoke that deep relaxation response that brings us back into our core awareness and our kind of quiet appreciation of our life. All right, now what about taste? Chocolate, raspberries, those are mine. How about the smell of coffee or tea in the morning, and roses? Our plant ancestors and teachers are always helping us remember to stop. And so it is a practice of cultivating awe in the moment. Once again, I invite you to listen and dig deep and relax and take in glimmering. Thanks for watching and for listening. I do want to remind you, we now have a YouTube channel as well, so you can go back in the archives in many cases and also watch our wonderful productions. Take care. Go find your glimmer.
Hi, I'm Libby, the producer of Two Crones and a Microphone. We've made something lovely for the summer season, a sacred gardening guide just for our supporters. If you've been enjoying the show, this is a great time to pitch in, starting at only $3 a month. It helps keep us going, and you get something beautiful in return. Want to support the show and get the sacred gardening guide? Just head to twocronesandamicrophone.com or look in the show notes on any show we do on whichever platform you're on. You'll find everything there. And remember, all is made beautiful. Be well.
Hello, and welcome to Two Crones and a Microphone. I am Linda.
And I am Betty.
We are cultural midwives and a force for change, using applied practical spirituality. We've been friends and colleagues for over 35 years. We will talk about wisdom practices we use in daily life. And Betty, I'm so excited about this next year of podcasting because this is the second of our second year, and we have the overall theme, Restore and Replenish. And just so everyone knows, we need this as much as you do, so we practice what we suggest. This podcast is Glimmering. What is glimmering? Glimmering. It's micro moments in your day which help us feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. Because guess what? Once you begin to train your brain to be on the lookout for glimmers, the more these tiny moments begin to appear. So, what are the ways that we can experience glimmering? Well, let's go in through the most accessible way we have. We all have a body, right? Let's go in through the five senses. So, sight. Let's start with the easy one for most of us. What happens if you take a moment and you look at tree leaves and you look at the way the leaf is shimmering in the light and you really take it in? Take a breath, ground, center, and just go, huh, look at that. That's gorgeous. All of a sudden, our brain transforms. Betty, you have something you'd like to add on sight?
Oh, absolutely. There's so much. I mean, I can totally relate to the tree leaves because of where I live.
Yeah.
But also for me, it might be seeing a painting, you know,
Absolutely, yes.
like as I've told you in the past, I used to go to the Museum of Modern Art and sit and look at the masters um, but I can't do that now. So I have a book of Van Gogh's paintings. And if I'm a little rattled or I just need that little bit of a glimmer, I may open the book and see what it shows to me,
Absolutely.
which one of his paintings. And that raises my spirit. It makes me happy to see that. I also have a lot of Native American art that I love looking at. I
Yeah.
mean, oh my goodness, some of these artists, Native artists, are just, they're brilliant, brilliant. And I have a parrot that each one of the leaves shimmers. I don't even know how he did this. And then the person that I received it from told me that this fellow did it so he could pay his telephone bill. And he did it like in an afternoon. I'm like, oh my God, such talent, such beauty, such beauty. It's
And
all about the beauty.
it absolutely is. And I love too that you picked up something that's made by a human. And we also are talking about going out into nature, one of our overarching themes all the time. And speaking of that, if we're going through hearing or sound, one of my favorite things is to just walk outside and listen for the birds. Somehow, just
Yes.
listening to whatever they're saying in the moment. And sometimes it's the squawky old crows, that are going, "Wah!" you know. We, they and me, we have a conversation most days. But I like songbirds too. It's always so pleasant.
Yeah, we have a lot of, the deer make noise,
Oh yeah.
when they're warning each other, they have this little snorty thing that they
Oh
do.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of times you may not quite see them, but then all of a sudden you hear them take off because they see Luna and they're like, nope, that little white thing is out here after us again. So let's just run into the woods where we're safe.
Uh-huh. I
Or
do.
it could be the yipping of a fox,
Yeah, absolutely.
and they're sudden. They just kind of like appear.
Yep.
And it always makes me smile because I'm so happy to see that they're all doing so well up here.
Yeah.
That makes me really, really smile. And of course, like you, the birds, particularly in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
a spring or summer morning, boy, they are just going on and on and on. I have an app, by the way, that will tell me what bird is making what sound.
Oh, really? You're going to have to share
Yeah,
that with me. That's
yeah,
fabulous.
it is. It's great.
Yeah,
Absolutely great.
sometimes I have a hard time identifying that, but I'd like to know.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving on through the five senses, the sense of touch. I mean, really intimate. So even if it's something like just rubbing your own hands together gently, just feeling the softness of your own skin, entwining your own fingers. It's so grounding and it's so, somewhat sensual. But you had a different idea for that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I talk about Luna, right? She is the softest little doggy. She is her fur. I had her at the vet the other day, and Dr. Amy was saying, "Oh my goodness, she's so soft," and she is.
Oh, yeah.
So she'll sit on my lap and I'll pet her, and it's very soothing. I also have a kitty who has this very soft fur. So I'm really into that tactile touch, a fuzzy blanket
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or it's getting colder out now up here in the Northeast. So my sweatshirts, they have a little fleecy thing on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really, really nice to just feel it against your skin. We have to take the time to just allow that to show itself to us.
That's it.
And that's part of what
Hitting,
glimmering is about.
it is. It's hitting the pause button on the rackaroo. There we go again. But hitting the pause button enough to sink into the exact moment we're in, no matter how you access it. Yeah, completely agree. And then how about the sense of taste?
Mm.
We agree on that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for me, it's a really good piece of chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
And, we have some of you may be aware of it because they're in some of the stores, the Whole Foods. We have Mocha, Moka,
Uh-huh.
and they produce coffee and chocolate. And look it up. I mean, they're a fabulous company, and they support the African farmers
Mm-hmm.
by producing all of this. And it's just really yummy.
It
And
sure
I can
is.
just that one little piece of chocolate as you bite into it, it's like a party in your mouth, right?
That's
That's
exactly right.
definitely glimmering.
Yes, it
Definitely
is.
glimmering. Makes
And
you happy.
it does. And I'll add in there for me red raspberries. Ooh.
Yeah.
And
And I would
there's so many
say
ways that, yeah.
red raspberries are healthy, but so is dark chocolate. So
Well, I'm not discounting the chocolate, honey. I love the chocolate too. There's a reason that chocolate is part of the food for the gods and the goddesses, after all.
that's right. That's right.
Mm.
So, and the other thing, I have a girlfriend who makes the most wonderful, wonderful muffins. I mean,
Yes.
boy, I call them Joanne's magic muffins. And when my husband became really sick and things were difficult, she would ship them to me. And
I
that would
remember.
be my morning ritual because the mornings were always very difficult, right? So I would get out of bed and I rationed them, and I would be, okay, this morning I am going to have a magic muffin. And just biting into that muffin was heaven. And
I remember this really sustained you along with
yes.
other rituals during that difficult time.
Mm-hmm.
And what a gift from a friend, too. I mean, I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but it's not only the flavor, but the kind of heart opening characteristic because she fixed them for you and she shipped them to you. It was really lovely.
And they were made with so much love,
Oh, yeah.
really,
Yeah.
you know. So, small things like that,
Yeah.
where you have to just let yourself settle for those seconds, even,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep, I agree. That's part of glimmering. And then finally, smell or the sense of smell. And for me, in part, coffee in the morning. That is, it's really an anchor for me, and it helps me start my day in a very happy mood.
For me, it is the smell of roses. That would be my
Mm-hmm.
number one. I love my coffee,
Mm-hmm.
but the smell of roses, and there are some essential oils
Oh yeah.
also that I love. Sometimes I could be sitting doing some work or whatever, and I smell roses around me.
I.
And that's
Mhm.
because I believe it is because I have a great devotion to Saint Teresa of Lisieux. And if you know anything about her, she has always said that I will spend my heaven doing good upon earth. And they say that when she's working, the smell of roses is around you. And I could be working on something very difficult, and all of a sudden, there it is. And I know that she's helping me with whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish. You may have seen statues of her. She's in a Carmelite, she was a Carmelite nun. She was cloistered, Her story is incredible. I would just suggest you look it up if you're interested. But she's always holding roses.
Oh, lovely.
So when that smell comes, not only do I have the pleasure of smelling it, but the pleasure of knowing that she's around,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Thank you for sharing that story. That's really lovely. I've had spontaneous sort of rose events as well, though
Mm-hmm.
I haven't associated them with any particular saint. And one of my absolute favorite mixes to use as a sort of anointing oil is with rose and sandalwood.
Yes. Yeah.
So lovely. Yeah. And and a glimmer can be something as simple as, sniffing the rose sandalwood on your wrist, or it can be something more complex and deeper. But the idea is it gets us in touch with what I'd call our essential nature, really. And with that in mind, I'm going to read from Radiant Sutras, 112 Gateways to the Yoga of Wonder and Delight by Lauren Roche. And you've heard I read from this periodically on this. And this one is sort of a primer on glimmer. It's number 57. Find something so enchanting to behold that you are transfixed, ravished. Allow yourself to be captivated. Gaze upon its form with the eyes of wonder. Attend to details, this shape, texture, these colors. How can something so beautiful possibly exist? With a steady gaze, melt into the field of space, embracing that form. At once, be at one with the Creator, who is looking through your eyes, loving creation.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, thanks to the ancient Sanskrit texts and Dr. Lauren Roche, we get that. It stuns me every time. It sort of brings up another related sense, which is a sense of awe and joy.
Mm-hmm. True. I'd like to bring in the fact too that yes, we're engaging our senses, but I think we also have to be open to those little moments that make us laugh.
Totally, yeah.
Or, I was telling you before the podcast, I was getting a package and my, Amazon's being delivered a lot of times by the post office now where we live anyway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Luna loves the mail lady. Absolutely. The mail lady is one of her favorite people. And so she was bringing me a package, and I could hear her coming up the road. And I have discovered recently that Luna has been getting up on the dining room table, where she's not supposed to be.
And how'd you find this out?
Well, someone had seen her when they pulled up to the house. I'm like, oh no, you're making a mistake. She's looking out the window. No, I found the tablecloth a little disheveled the other day, and I thought, son of a gun, how is she doing that? So when she ran to the window to see the mail truck, she ran to jump up on the table. All of a sudden, she turned around and looked at me and then ran to the window. I was like, you little beastie, you.
Adaptive behavior depending on who's around. Yeah.
Yes, but that's a perfect example of a glimmer.
Yes, absolutely.
It just makes you laugh and raises your endorphins and makes you feel happy.
Yeah.
Just for that minute. Even if it is a little beastie move being done by your pet. So Linda, with your you live in nature where you are, what would be probably the most frequent thing you see that gives you a glimmer?
I think for me, it would be going outside and grounding as usual and saying hello to one of my favorite trees. Because again, I build a relationship with the trees that I live with. And I say hello to them, and they frankly say hello back. And so there it's so easy to sort of just plug into that relationship and just go, hey, hi, and just get a glimmer back. And often for me, the shape that takes is I feel like my senses expand a little bit and like my eyes are a little diffuse, but I often will see a sort of a wave of golden or white light around whatever I'm looking at, whatever tree it is. That's how it happens for me. Everyone's a little different. How about you?
For me, I think it's probably very similar because of all the wildlife we have around here. You
Yeah.
know, like when Larry was alive, one of the things he really liked doing is watching the squirrels trying to get into the bird feeder. And
Yeah.
he'd be laughing because those little critters, let me tell you, they little acrobats, they're really, and they're smart. They figure things out.
Oh, yeah.
And so that would bring him joy, or he'd be calling me saying, you got to see this. Um, so it's those little moments, even though life can be difficult at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it's those little moments that just appear out of nowhere. For me, that's glimmering. And it's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing.
It
You could
is a
be,
blessing.
I remember reading Viktor Frankl's book,
Yes.
and here he is in the concentration camp, and he had a glimmering. It was
Yeah.
watching the sunrise.
Yes.
And I remember being absolutely amazed, thinking, oh my God, this guy is surrounded by so many terrible things
Yeah.
and terrible living conditions.
Yeah.
And yet he was still able to tap into beauty,
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
know?
And there's another way to glimmer too, which is glimmering in relationship. Because there's a similar story
Mm-hmm.
that was told, and it might have been Viktor Frankl. I just read it before our podcast about the men and women were in a concentration camp, but they were in separate places. The men were being forced marched, and one of the men said to the other man, I'm thinking about my wife right now. I hope she's doing well. And all of a sudden, they both just felt like their load got so much lighter just by reinforcing the connection with that other beloved person, whether they could see them or not, reinforcing that connection, and that it helped both of them so much to get through that difficult few hours while they were being forced marched somewhere. And that's a really extreme circumstance, but just to say there are so many ways this can arise. And I want to add something too, which is I didn't say it in the very beginning, but you know what we named this podcast? Glimmering, Catching Small Miracles. Because that's really what we're talking about here. How do we get to the sort of ground of being, the sort of core essence of who we are, which is that sort of, I'm good, I'm at home. That kind of essence. This is a shortcut to that.
It is, and it restores your spirit. It really, really restores your spirit.
Yeah.
However, you have to be open to it. And I think that the fact that we're beginning to talk about this, I mean, actually, I only heard the word glimmering in the past maybe 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
When I started to look into it, I realized what it was. And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing that for quite a while. And I think that came from Oceana's teachings,
Mm-hmm.
that she had
I
taught
do
us to
too.
just stop, ground, take a look around, and see the beauty that is in front of you, or
That's exactly
feel the
right.
beauty that is in front of you, or taste the beauty that's in front of you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so even though it now has a word, I
Right.
believe you and I have been doing this for a very long time,
Of quite a while. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that brings up the point that we've trained our brains.
That's it. Exactly.
So even in the bad times, we still allow ourselves to see those little glimmers that are
Mm-hmm.
out there because our brain was trained. Now, you brought up a really good practice, which was keeping a journal.
Yeah, this is a great way to concretize, however it's said, to make it real. Because for
Mm-hmm.
me at least, if I write something down, it really does make it more real than if I'm just thinking about it and noticing it. And my brain's imperfect, so sometimes I might see something. If I don't write it down or jot it down, I'm going to forget about it in another 3 minutes. And I want to remember these things. So,
And for our younger listeners, I mean, you could record that on your iPhone or whatever, your Android phone, whatever you're using.
yeah, you can do
I'm
it.
a pencil paper girl, but that's what
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be so easy to just record what you saw.
That's it. Just do a voice note or however that works for
Hmm.
you.
And
And
then maybe before you go to bed at night, sit down, look at it and go, yeah, because yeah, you are going to forget it. The days are like zip, zip, zip. At least for
mhm.
us, they are.
Yeah, I know.
You think they slow down by now, but they really haven't.
Nope.
Um, so the glimmering is really an important part of our day.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. And on the subject of heartbreak, there's a popular book out there now. It's called Heartbreak. And it goes through a lot of the technical and biological processes that happen when we suffer heartbreak. And that can happen in so many ways. Like even when someone that we know and love dies suddenly. I'm thinking of my brother Gary, who died of ALS 12 years ago. I still have some heartbreak left from that because I miss him. That's just how it is. But in the end of the book, you would think, what would be the cure for heartbreak? You would think it would be something, forgiveness, or any number of other things that we're all familiar with. Guess what? It turns out the cure for heartbreak is cultivating a sense of awe, AWE, awe. And so, if you are practicing your state of awe or joy, glimmering, you're going to help cure your heartbreak too. And I thought that was a pretty potent message.
It is. It is. At least, and and in the beginning, it will help you manage it. I
Yeah,
can tell you that for a fact.
yeah,
So, um, that's really what it's all about, too. You can't make it go away, but you can learn to manage it. And by using all your tools, glimmering being one of them, it's definitely going to help you from sliding down the rabbit hole.
I personally think too that it's just part of our humanness and that,
Hmm.
if it cracks our heart open a little more, that's actually okay.
It is. It
Yeah,
absolutely is. It's life, right? It's
yeah,
life.
it's life. It comes with all the good stuff as that counterbalance.
Julian of Norwich always said, all will be well.
And all manner of things will be well.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I repeat that to myself a lot. So that's all part of this glimmering process, right?
completely agree.
Just allowing yourself to be in that moment, realizing all will be well, enjoying whatever is sent to you to allow you to see the glimmering process
Mm-hmm.
and feeling better about things, literally feeling better about things.
Yeah, I remember at one point when I was going through a really sort of difficult time, I suddenly woke up one morning and I was feeling so at peace. And the thought that came into my head was no matter what's going on with me right now, the sun will still continue to rise and set. And that brought me such a sense of peace. That was Julianne's message. All will be well, and all manner of things will be well.
Mm-hmm.
It sustained me for quite some time, that sort of glimmer, that realization.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I am inviting our audience to let us know what they have experienced
We
by
would love
using
to hear
glimmering.
that. We'd love to hear about that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, we shared some of our experiences with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the thing is, that when you share, say on our Facebook page or Instagram, you share it with other people and it helps them open up and realize, what could be out there.
Yeah.
So please don't hesitate. Don't hold back. It would be wonderful for us to hear from you also.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we learn from each other and we stand as witness to each other too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
that's a
we
really
do.
powerful practice. Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm really happy with this. I think we've sort of opened up glimmering in a good way. And what's our wisdom practice? What do you think, Betty? Your choice.
Um, I would say the wisdom practice is to, when you get up in the morning, weather permitting, just go outside, put on your heavy bathrobe and perhaps a coat, and just go outside and stand there for a few minutes and take a couple of really good deep breaths and then just look around
I love that.
and
Good.
see. And it doesn't matter if you're living in the city.
Oh, no.
There's a lot to see there too. I know I lived in the city for quite a while.
Absolutely. So did I.
So I would love to hear how this practice has affected you and helped you in your life.
Okay. All right. Well, it's about time. So I think it's time for us to wrap up this podcast. Thank you for listening. And please feel free to leave a rating or share with friends, with family. We really count on our friends and family to share what they think is a good thing. And we think what we do is worthwhile. And so we're glad that you're willing to share it too. We'd love for you to leave a review on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Tell us what's most memorable about this episode.
And I would like to welcome all our new listeners. We've picked up quite a few new listeners over the past month.
Yeah.
So welcome to the podcast. And again, share it.
Thank you.
And most importantly, though, go back over them and use the wisdom practices. Linda and I have used them for many years. They're very effective. And we're very, very happy to share them with you.
Indeed, we are. So this year podcast has the theme Restore and Replenish, and this is dedicated to sharing techniques to aid in organizing your well-being in a post-pandemic world, giving you ways to be kind to yourself and others. Many thanks to MinervaED.com and Franny's Photography for sponsoring our podcast. And until the next time, be well.
Hi, if you're enjoying Two Crones and a Microphone, please like this video and hit the subscribe button. Enjoy timeless wisdom from modern times, all served up by women in the know.